Hi everyone, my name is Carly Krekowicz and I am a registered nurse specializing in pediatrics and nursing education. My research question is, how does the hidden curriculum shape nursing education? To my knowledge, only one member in our audience is in the healthcare field, but I believe everyone will find the concepts applicable and transferable. Purpose and expected outcomes. The purpose is to determine the effects of the hidden curriculum in nursing education to identify how to improve the formal curriculum to optimize our students' learning. Expected outcomes. Since the hidden curriculum focuses on implicit learning, I expected to find key themes related to the values and culture of nursing practice. I also expected the research to be focused mainly on clinical practice because these experiences are rich in learning opportunities related to culture, values, and norms. Key themes and connections to theory. The importance of cultural competence was a key theme that emerged. Ackerman, Barger, London, and White discussed how omitting topics such as allostatic load and the social determinants of health is discriminatory and perpetuates health inequities for people from minority backgrounds. They also identified microaggressions experienced by nursing and medical students from minority groups. Akakoka and Oregon developed a measurement tool to evaluate the hidden curriculum in nursing education. It included 3 subdivisions, those being school atmosphere, professional acquisition, and student-teacher school interaction, as well as 43 items total for the 3 subdivisions. One item was 42. Discriminatory attitudes are exhibited towards students from different cultures or ethnic groups. Lastly, Roy, Hunt, Sakai, and Fletcher implemented curricula regarding anti-oppression to address nursing hidden curriculum. It was deemed successful with positive feedback per student report. Connections to theory. Curricula about anti-oppression in Roy, Hunt, Sakai, and Fletcher's article addressing hidden curriculum supports the need for more improved and thorough Indigenous education curriculum in Coming to Know Indigeneity, Epistemologies of Ignorance in 2003 to 2015 Ontario, Canadian, and World Studies curriculum by Shafley, Godluska, and Rose. The omission of allostatic load and the social determinants of health is similar to how the lack of Indigenous education and loss of native languages sent oppressive implicit messages about the minority and disadvantaged groups in the Sask High School School to Learn Dakota Language by CTV News Regina. Weenie's article, Curricular Theorizing from the Periphery, has a beautiful poem that articulates how educators can assess their biases to prevent discriminatory attitudes and foster a culture of inclusivity. It's found in her abstract. Journeying into the mystical, to the elusive and mysterious spaces, into the subliminal, the womb, and the subjective. From the great mysteries of the self, we emerge refreshed and renewed to seek and claim the spaces as our own. Transmitting professional core values and ethics. Some of the core values in nursing include compassion, altruism, and advocacy. Razzo, Marchetti, D'Angelo, Albanese, Garino, Damonte, Parida, and De Marinis conducted a scoping study of 18 articles on the hidden curriculum of nursing that discussed ethical dilemmas and issues with transmitting core values into clinical practice. Further, Hunter and Cook interviewed new graduate nurses and found discerning professionalism as a sub-theme within their article. Despite the strenuous nature of clinical practice, the new graduate nurses observed senior nurses as role models to learn how to provide ethical care. One participant stated in the results section, "Just standing, watching them has really helped guide how I practice now." In another study, Kelly discovered advocacy increased after students received an education system on the hidden curriculum using a pre- and post-survey format. This is significant since advocacy leads to improved patient safety and patient outcomes. Transmitting strong ethical values can enhance society. Connections to theory. Recommendations focus on addressing the learner's desire to practice ethical care and uphold strong core values, which is a key component in progressivism, to focus on learners' interests and values. With the learner's interests in mind, the researchers analyze how best to teach them for the betterment of society, another important aspect of progressivism. Dewey, a very influential progressivist, stated on page 34 and 35, "I believe that the individual who is to be educated is a social individual, and that society is an organic union of individuals. Their powers, interests, and habits must be continually interpreted. They must be translated in the way of social service." Teacher-student power dynamics. Akakoka and Oregon the researchers found that power dynamics to be important in the hidden curriculum of nursing education. Akakoka and Oregon's hidden curriculum measurement tool had an entire subdivision devoted to it. For example, evaluative term 4 is there's a good sense of cooperation between the instructors and students at the school. Hunter and Cook identified managing power relations as a sub-theme graduate nurses had to navigate when learning from their preceptors. Mitchell, McMillan, Lopchuk, and Nickel found that when nursing students completed writing assignments, they would adapt their writing style to meet each different instructor's preferences, compared to writing to enhance their own learning. This highlights the power each instructor holds over the student. Lastly, Stephen et al. Determined emotional safety in the clinical environment was essential for learning and resulted in positive student outcomes when they felt supported by their educators. This demonstrates how being aware of the power you hold as an educator impacts your students. Connections to theory. Adler is a perennialist who wrote the Padilla Proposal. He valued prioritizing the cultivation of intellect and believed in equal education for all to create a democratic society. In terms of the article about students adapting their writing style for each educator, he would likely want to streamline this process to ensure the same quality of education. Each theorist has their own unique view of managing student-teacher dynamics. Counts is a reconstructionalist who believes educators should be aware of their position and be responsible with it, stating on page 60, teachers possess no magic secret to their power. They should not be deceived by the pious humbugs with which public men commonly flatter the members of the profession. So the power that teachers exercise in the schools can be no greater than the power they wield in society. Meanwhile, Green is an existentialist with a student-centered approach where teachers aid in the learning process and focus on developing each individual's unique abilities. She states on page 164, for teachers to stimulate an awareness of the questionable, to aid in the identification of the thematically relevant, to beckon beyond the everyday. Each of these theorists have unique perspectives related to the student-teacher power dynamics. Summary. The purpose of my research question was to see how the hidden curriculum shapes nursing education. The key themes were the importance of cultural competence, transmitting professional core values and ethics, as well as student-teacher power dynamics. Weenie, Dewey, and Green all had key connections to my themes. In conclusion, to be effective educators, we must know what we are explicitly and implicitly teaching to guide our next generation. Thank you.